got the shot away. He scores! Rabil is back on top. 644 points, the most in pro lacrosse history.
All right, my next guest, the co-founder and president of Premier Lacrosse League and the Maybelline Women's Lacrosse League, reeling in that big sponsor, Paul Rabil. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? I don't have as much energy as that pre-roll video you just ran. I'm exhausted, but having a cup of coffee and waking up with Kay.
Listen, I'm drinking champagne and it's going to keep going. I just talked to new Hall of Famer, Jared Allen. And here's my congrats to you, my friend, on your recent induction into the National Lacrosse Hall of Fame. You've been very busy doing 8 million things in the last month. Have you actually stopped and reflect on this moment?
I did a little bit. Yeah. Thanks for saying that, because the Hall of Fame was in the beginning of January. So I had just taken maybe a few weeks off, went to the Caribbean and just relaxed and tried to shut off before the championship series began. And then we have our summer. And Kay, we don't take much time off. So
I know you
I did get a moment to reflect. I had a little champagne. I've got some more back here because I'm going to join you tonight. I'm not going to work for the next 24, 48 hours. But you had a big week as well, the Super Bowl. Did you go to All-Star game in SF?
I did not. I did not end up going, but I wish I would have gone to this championship weekend that you just had, the PLL WLL Championship Series. It was going on all week. It wrapped up yesterday. And this was the big debut. We spoke when you launched and sort of announced Women's Lacrosse League, but the scale of this was so impressive to me. What was the best part of the week from your perspective?
I mean, I think women's sports, and it's not novel anymore because the success we've seen across basketball and soccer and hockey. I mean, it's a stock that everyone's buying, but most importantly, it's a new opportunity for the next generation of young girls who play lacrosse to have these idols and spectacles and memories and experiences watching people like Charlotte North and, Ali Mastriani and Emily Harrischuk all play at the highest level and celebrate a championship and represent their city. So the math for us was pretty easy when we decided to launch the league. It mainly had to do with our ability to pull it off from a bandwidth standpoint, and having the first championship series go off as successfully as it did. I mean, all these events were separately ticketed and on ESPN Plus and ESPN2. And so the response has just been huge. And again, I sit back here and say, like, there was no genius in it. The women's game has been around since the late 1800s. It started in Scotland, then it's made its way into America in 1926 by this woman, Rosabelle Sinclair, who's the OG, and I want to name the cup after. It's just really cool to be able to bring it to life.
You are promoting these stars. These stars are like unbelievable. Charlotte North, you just mentioned her. I think we have some footage of her signing autographs even. How are you helping brand her, promoting her and these stars?
That was nuts. So we would have this autograph alley that would happen here. Yeah, you have it on right now, where it was on the outside of the venue. And this is a punch. It'll probably punch out in a second because that looks like we need better security. When that punched out, the whole thing, I mean, the building had to call the fire marshal. So when you talk about like the Caitlin Clark effect in basketball, Charlotte North is Caitlin Clark. The difference was there's a WNBA and there wasn't a WLL. And so what does Caitlin Clark do at the next level? There was controversy around her not being selected for the Olympic team. And, I don't think Charlotte North is going to have an issue playing for Team USA. She already has. So I think it's actually on us to play more catch up and introduce Charlotte to more people because she's special.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to meet her. This was like it was a historic week for women's lacrosse, women's sports in general, the start of the WLL season. Maryland Charm goalie Kaylee Waters, she was talking in a post-game presser. My whole staff, my whole team was watching all the stuff go on this weekend. And I really liked this bite about how meaningful this has all been to her. Let's take a listen. I think we have it. Oh, it's not a shot. We don't. Oh, I thought we had it. We had Waters after the thing.
I saw these girls, heard these girls calling my name, asking for autographs. I don't know why I'm getting worked up, but, the game just means a lot on and off the field. And I think this experience has really allowed myself and everyone to connect with what's out there. It's brought the crowd to us. It's really put it in our hands, the impact and influence that we have.
What does it feel like seeing that?
Man, I was emotional watching that, especially the night of, because a lot of us as athletes could feel what she was experiencing. It wasn't just the opportunity to play at this stage in the WLL, but they had just gone out, so they had just been eliminated, and so she was getting choked up because when the season's over, you're walking out as an athlete, and you just try to like find these little moments that can pull you away from the loss, even just for a moment. And so she's referencing going back and signing autographs and that experience that she had. But then she said at the end of her quote that she'd rather have the opportunity to lose than not play at all. And I was like, damn, man, we need to work more with Kaylee. She's poetic. But I know that vibe because most athletes, you go out without a championship more often than you do.
And I'm not an athlete, but I'm watching that and the weekend's events and the scale of it. And I'm thinking, I want to get involved in that. And I hit you up last week. I hit you up in November when you were announcing. I was like, I want in. It's bites like that. I want in on this. And we already, I mean, let's talk about we're family now. We got WLL meets FanDuel. How did that happen?
Yeah, well, our like favorite person, Amy Howe, before she came over to you all, she was at Ticketmaster and Live Nation, and we structured one of our first partnerships at the PLL with her. So I've always been like going back and forth, trying to figure out a way for our teams to work together at the WLL, PLL, FanDuel, and we obviously were to do that. And you came to Philadelphia for street lacrosse, and fun. You're, God, Kay, you're so special to us because what you do in your field and the way that you cover all of the games, and frankly are able to like bring athletes and fans together, is really special and unique. So bringing the WLL and the PLL into that fold is important. And then we had a few like betting influencers on site. There was a non-betting influencer. Do you know who Tony P is? He's like he was originally the 25-year-old bachelor in DC, and he puts out the same video every day. And it's kind of a lull, but he's also a really good dude. Anyway, he turned 26 and he made his first bet. And it was a PLL game. He did it through FanDuel, and it was like whips covering 5.5 points against the Arch. And they were down by 13 in the fourth quarter, and they make this huge run, and they cover. And so we're having a laugh and saying, yeah, good teams win, great teams cover. So I can't wait to see more of the content that comes out from the partnership.
And anybody who doesn't know, Amy Howe he's mentioning is the CEO of FanDuel, who is one of one, my biggest inspiration. I think I'm like so lucky to work for her, and I'm so glad that you're part of that family. I don't know who I'm picking this year. Am I a Cannons girl? Am I a Whips girl? Outlaws? I don't even know. There's 4 WLL teams. You and I are going to figure one out. I appreciate you. Congrats on everything, and building up from here.
Yeah, here we go. And we'll link when you're in New York next, or I'll call you when I'm in LA.
Done.